This is a quick tutorial about working with tool palettes and how to create them and manipulate them. Open the Autocad, and the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to open a file. We'll start here with this template. This is my basic template. For the most part, these are the blocks that I keep in this template. There's not that many. Everything that I'm doing is driven out of the tool palette over here on the right. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to create one of these tool palettes, and I'm going to show you how to work within it. So to create a tool palette, I set up a specific tool palette for this, and I'm going to bring in my design center. And we're going to fish through the design center to where we keep our palette. Let's open up that first. This is my tool palette file for this specific job. I'm going to go under my support files and standards for vids. What I have here is all the blocks that I want in my tool palette. We try to keep this very small because I only want to bring in the blocks that I want. I don't want to bring in any other blocks. And for this specific video, I've only brought in a few. This is not here right now, but it will be soon. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to go to Tool Palette, or to Design Center, and select Work. And then go into Support Files. I'm fishing through to get to, let's do that, Work, Support Files, and then I go down to Standards Vid and click on it. Now I've got blocks right here, and I right click on the blocks. It says Create Tool Palette. Boom. Now what it's doing is creating a tool palette that's going to show up right over here, and you see it right here. And these are all the blocks that are in that file, my standards files. Now as it sits right now, I can drop and drag any one of these into my drawing. And here I've dropped this angle, or A. When I go into my blocks now, you'll see A. It comes in on the layer that it was drawn in, layer 0. But let's change that real quick. So here's A, and I go to Properties. I can scroll down and I can change the color in the layer. We're going to change the layer to steel. And now everything else I can even change. I can change the line weight, transparency, plot, all that cool stuff. But this is almost every time the only thing I'm going to change is the layer that it comes in on. So when I click OK and I drag that in now, it'll automatically come in on the steel layer. It'll never come on anything else. The next thing we're going to do with this specific thing is we're going to edit this block. So I'm going to go back to, oh actually, let's go here. So now this is my job folder, and when I bring it in, it still comes in on the steel layer. Once I set the properties here in the tool palette, it will always stay there. It's global. So now we're going to go here. Oh wait, you know what I want to do? Let's do it this way. We're going to bring in a little dude. Bam. Alright, and then I'm going to hit save here for no good reason. Now I'm going to go into this specific, this is again the standards vid. I'm going to come here to my little dude, and we're going to change this guy. Oh no, we're going to change this guy, block editor. And what I'm going to do, oh, this is something I wanted to show you guys. These are points. These points are set on the def points layer. Def points are used for dimensioning, and they will never print. You can change a color, but they will never print, and they will never look anything other than a dot. They're a good work point when you need to be able to do stuff, but you don't want anyone to see. So we're going to change this guy to be a little happier. We're going to hit block and save. Now what this could represent is an entire job. I have to hit save, and this is what I was talking about, being able to go in and redefine in the bigger files when we do our slave files. Now I'm going to go back here. Now I've saved that standards vid. I have to do that, and this could just as easily be my master file. And I'm going to come here and I'm going to select dude. I'm going to hit redefine. Boom. Now the advantage of that is this automatically loads every time, where this does not. So when I click on blocks here and I have a huge master file, it takes a long time for that to load. But I'm doing the same thing that I do here when I hit redefine. So now that being shown, and I created the tool palette. We'll put this away. And now this is how we're going to do, so I'm going to make this little square right here. And in the square, we're going to draw stupid stuff, and I'm going to name this square block number 1, pick point, and specify the objects. I don't care about that, so we'll hit OK. Now I have to save my master file before this works. Now I have my tool palette here, and we're going to go, and I want to take and drop and drag this into the tool palette. So I select a hand grip. I have all my hand grips on. Right click and drag it over to the tool palette, and I can set it in there. That's simple. Now that is set in that tool palette. It is always rooted within this master file. So if I come here and I say, hey, I want to edit this, we right click on it and we go to block editor. It will open the block editor in the root file. So I go back to the cap building, boom, I'm in my block editor. I can move something, hit save, and hit save again. Come back here to my standards file. I'm going to insert that. I'm going to try to insert that again, and it comes in the way that it was created. Okay, so that being done, this is something else. You can see these are on the grid layer, but when I go into the CAV and I'm going to say I want my W to come in always on the steel layer. Keep in mind that it's actually drawn and set on the grid layer in my standards file. Let's do this real quick. Bring it in here. Boom. Steel layer. Doesn't care what is drawn in. It just brings it on the steel layer. So that means when I bring in embeds, they're always on the embed layer. Now this is where we were talking about creating for specific customers. You can see here I have Gila Bend, and I don't want that anymore. That job is built. So I right click, delete the palette. Gone. If I delete the palette, I have to recreate it. This is Merriam. Now, Merriam is the Amazon job that I've been working on. You can see I don't have a lot of embeds, but I do have a few embeds that kept reoccurring. And this is my master file right here. To be able to update that master file, my master one, all I do is hit right click and redefine from here instead of doing it in my design center. You can see that loaded a lot faster. Now it does lag, but nothing compared to the design center. I have a couple things that I have. This is my actual standards folder, and this is also really cool. Let's do this real quick. We're going to make a square. Inside that square, I'm going to set a hatch. I'm going to double click on that. I'm going to say predefined and pick out something that I really like here. Let's go with that one. Okay. And we're going to set the scale to 20. Okay, and hit save. Oh, you know what else I want to do? I want to put on a layer. We're going to put on layer embed. There we go. Hit save. Now I've hit save, and I can grab this and right click and drag it right over here. And we want to put that in, still holding down my right click button, standards vid. We're going to put it right up here on top. Bam. Now, I'm going to come back here and again, hit save. Always got to do that when you're working in the tool palette. So I'm going to make this. I'm going to take this and bring that in. There you go. Now this is kind of interesting because if I don't specify a layer, it will come in on the layer I want it to. But if I specify a layer, and in this case, I think I can do it on, I don't know if that layer is in here. It should be hatch. There it is. We'll click OK, and so now it'll come in on hatch. Okay, so now that's done. Let's go to job specific. This got a little tricky because I haven't done this a whole lot of times, so I'm hoping that it will work. I'm going to customize the palettes, and here I'm going to take, and I'm going to make a new group called vid. And under vid, I'm going to take my tool palette standards and my tool palette doors. I'm going to hit close. Oh wait, let's do another one. New group, and this one's going to be called panels. And on this one, I'm going to select all this stuff. I'm going to put these doors and Kev standards and Miriam. Hit close. Now we're going to save this, and I think when I click on this, there they are right there. So I can move between the different, I can filter out my tool palettes. So if I want to work just within my layer structure, I can right click and hit video or rename that to panels. And if I'm in Kevin's, I can click that. Now I've got all Kevin's standards. And that way I can eliminate or filter out the tabs that I have. And those tabs can get kind of heavy over a period of time. I've had to filter them out before, but usually I just delete them like you saw me do with the Gilbert. So that pretty much wraps up this particular video, and I don't know if I've been recording, but I hope I have.